Let me quickly bring in, just hold for me, Mr. Kwebu. Let me bring in Joe Jackson, Director of Strategy and Business Operations at Dalex Finance. And just taking off from where Mr. Kwebu left off, he says we should rein in spending. And you would see that per what documentation you put out there from the 2023 budget. I'm just going to your Twitter page. You look at what January to December we're expected to spend in this year, and we're looking at expenditure of 205.4 billion. Yet you look at total revenue and grants 144 billion, leaving a deficit of 61.4 billion. It would appear that we are not cutting our coat according to our cloth. You look at that, the deficit for 2022, 58.7. We are even going higher. You look at the deficit for 2022, January to September, comparatively, and it appears that we're still not reining our borrowing in, our debt in. Maybe not borrowing because we've been cut out of the market. Add that to the fact that the Ghana Association of Bankers is directing commercial banks not to sign on to the amended debt exchange offer. What can you tell us about the debt exchange situation, and is government getting it right, Mr. Jackson?
Thank you, sir. Listen, for starters, the biggest problem we have now is that the government is not cutting expenditure. Like Martin is saying, and Martin, hello, good morning and good to hear from you. Martin is saying this morning, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to be able to say to the government, why are you not cutting expenditure? Because for so long as you don't cut expenditure, it's very hard to go out there and tell an individual, like a bank, or to take the losses. It's almost as if the pain has to be borne by everybody else except those who are benefiting from this government. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. And you can see that that particular reference you're making on my Twitter page is, get real. Let's be real. The government owes. The government cannot pay, not in full and on time like it's signed up for. First of all, you negotiate. You show you are contrite. You cut expenditure. And then you go on and say, I've done all I can. Let's sit down and negotiate how you can also contribute to this problem. But you can't sit the same way, borrow another 61 billion. And bear in mind, right, that even as we speak, each week the government is borrowing. And because it is so desperate and all it can do is borrow from treasury bills, the treasury bill rate is going higher and higher and higher. They're now at effective rate of 38% per annum. Where are we going? And if there's anything that we must do at this moment is take an axe to that expenditure. Take an axe to the expenditure.